The iPhone 16 Pro Max, I think in my opinion, is one of the best cameras that you can get for content creation. So if you're a content creator, this video is for you. Ever since Apple introduced Apple Log with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, if I'm not mistaken, I have tried to make it to where I can make this an everyday carry camera for content creating. I've used the camera, I've used the features, all kinds of stuff, and my favorite thing about it is using Apple Log. I've used the iPhone 16 Pro Max not just for my personal use, but for my professional video production. There's been a few times I've used it and I was able to sneak it in, and I don't think anybody could really tell the difference. Whether you're a professional content creator or just using it for personal reasons, this camera really does check off a ton of boxes to accommodate all kinds of camera needs. It is amazing to me the features that keep on getting packed into these phones to where you don't necessarily have to worry about bringing a full dedicated camera with you at all times. For context, I do carry around a Leica Q2. It's one of my favorite cameras. I always have that in my everyday bag, but now I have a minimal kit that I always have with me if I want to do video, time lapses, or even other kind of content creating features. First is Apple Log. Just like I said, it's my favorite thing about this phone. I love the quality from it and the features that it can expand upon with your content creating. Finally, AI, Apple Intelligence, whatever you want to call it, is making it into the Apple workflow. The next is what I call storytelling features. Things like time-lapse, slow motion, and cinematic mode. And again, go back to editing. There's more editing features. It's a little easier to edit on the phone with, just the built-in native apps along with the plethora of third-party apps that you can use. Basically, these are features that make me comfortable using the iPhone 16 Pro Max as my everyday carry content creating camera. And speaking about comfort, I want to shout out this video sponsor, TexTale. Make sure to use the code BANTECH20 to save some money at checkout. Let's talk about this hoodie to start off with. First of all, it's very comfortable. What I really appreciated was actually a practical feature that I was able to take advantage of when I was on a trip to Jersey. I was waiting in the airport and I opened up my water and the water just splashed all over me, like my whole front side got splashed. But because of the different kind of technology that they have into this hoodie, it was able to just repel off of me, so I wasn't soaking wet. So that was a nice little lifesaver and saved me some embarrassment. All right, so this is a great opportunity to talk about the outfit that I'm wearing that's in all this content. And it might be a little bit different than what you're used to seeing me in, which is all black. What I want to point out is that, one, it fits great, it feels great, and it's perfect for the theme park that we're at this time around. One, it breathes well. It feels comfortable all day. One of the clutch features is that, when you're at a theme park, you're walking by stuff and they're just squirting stuff at you from every direction, it seems like at times. But what's great about this kind of material is that it actually just beads off like water off the back of a duck. What I love about these shorts is, one, they got pockets that all have zippers. That's very important for a theme park because you can put your stuff in your pocket, zip it up, and it's not gonna fall out. I'm a big fan of TexTale and I think that you'll love their stuff too. So check out the link in the description and the video. Back to the video, back to this review, and I wanna actually point out something. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm actually shooting with Apple Log right now. I'm using the Rode Wireless Micro as my audio, so that's what you're hearing right now. This is my setup. Like, I'm literally using the setup that I have in my everyday carry bag for this video and creating this content right now. With that said, here's some context of some of my settings. Again, audio is from the Rode Wireless Micro. This particular video is being shot straight to an SSD with Apple ProRes Log, and it's 4K 24 frames per second. And I'm monitoring my feed with my Apple Watch Ultra 2. So that's actually pretty cool that I can monitor what everything looks like, make sure I'm framed up good, and be able to do that. That's actually, I didn't even have that in my script. You can monitor yourself with an Apple Watch. That's actually really clutch, especially if you're shooting by yourself. You don't have anybody to make sure that things are recording, sounding good, looking good. That's an extra bonus that I'm gonna throw in there. So if you are a content creator that is shooting by yourself, having an Apple Watch is clutch when you're shooting for your own stuff. All right, so back to the script. I've mentioned Apple Log quite a bit, so let's actually go over the reasons why I think it's such a good thing. Apple Log retains more information. Straight out of camera typically has an oversaturated look, in my opinion. It's not a new fact or opinion out there of many creators, but it does, like when you're shooting straight out of camera, you don't have as much control over the colors as you do when you shoot with Apple Log. You're able to color grade, color correct, And just, in my opinion, just the stability of the footage is better to me. It's also easier to match the colors between different cameras. So like I said, I have used this in my professional work, and of course, you know, a full cinema camera versus an iPhone, you wouldn't think that you'd be able to use it in different scenarios. Picture this. So I'm working with the hospital. There's an isolate transport system. So it's an incubator for premature babies, and it's on a stretcher. Like, that's the picture of it. I couldn't fit my full camera in there. It's an FX3, even like the small dumbed down size of like no accessories to it, it just wasn't gonna work that well. So I was like, well, I've got my iPhone, I've got a small SSD stick, I got a Gorilla tripod, and it worked like a charm. So it was really cool that I was able to incorporate that into my professional stuff. But even when I'm doing my unboxings for this channel, I typically have that on an overhead rig for a top-down look, and it's lightweight. Like, if you're trying to rig up a camera on like a C-stand kind of setup, there's a lot of balance, there's a lot of flexibility because of the weight of the camera. You don't have to worry about that with an iPhone. So again, shooting with Apple Log, it gives me the colors that I want. I'm able to color grade and put the LUTs and stuff that I like to use into my footage, whether it's my professional work or for content creation, such as unboxings. The other fact is being able to record straight to an SSD. It saves space on my iPhone to where I'm not clogging up my internal storage on the phone. I can just send it all to that SSD instead. And then, because it's an SSD, I can take it right to my computer and start editing. I don't have to transfer files or anything like that. It's saved steps from the creative process. So as you can see, I think if you haven't tried Apple Log, you should try it, because it just allows, I don't know, the workflow is way better to me by using that. Another tool that I love to use with the iPhone is the time lapse. The time lapse to me is butter smooth. It's fantastic. You can literally set and forget it. It adds that like nice transition point when you're storytelling, if you're going from one place to another, or if you're trying to communicate that, you know, you're moving along in time, hence time lapse. But it does help add that kind of stuff. And I use time lapse kind of features all the time. I love using that. The term cinematic kind of gets thrown around quite a bit. But in terms of using it for content creation, using your iPhone, what I like about it is that you're able to rack focus in a smoother way. Not to mention, in post through your iPhone editing, and I'll get to that in a second, you can actually change focus points. And then you can also use the different audio elements that they have now with the new iPhone 16 Pro Max. You got different ways that you can record environments, focus on audio sources, and so on and so forth. So again, it just gives you way more flexibility of being more intentional with the shots that you're getting. In slow motion, this thing now has 4K, 120 frames per second, slow motion recording. To be able to have 4K at 120 frames per second, that is insane. There's some, you know, full cameras that don't have that kind of feature. You know this if you're editing. Sometimes you're shooting B-roll and you just need just a few seconds of a good shot because you know that you can slow it down in post. And that just, again, it gives you more flexibility in your edit. And to me, slow motion creates a feeling. So you're able to focus on the subject a little bit more. It's not rapid pace. It just kind of allows, again, a storytelling creative option that you have with your footage. So AI and the editing topics that I want to talk about in this video kind of go hand in hand. So first of all, AI is made it into the editing apps natively with the iPhone. You don't have to rely on third-party apps as much. I know like Pixel and other Android devices that I've used has had some AI features for quite a while now. You know, regardless of when it's happened, you now have it with the Apple iPhone. You're able to edit a little bit deeper than what you have been in the past with the iPhone. Like content creating, it's one of those things where sometimes you're able to take things to a computer and edit the footage, the photos, whatever that you captured, and take your time with it a little bit more. And it's sometimes just easier to edit on a laptop. But sometimes you don't have that luxury of having a laptop around. So you're able to now, I think you have way more editing features available at your fingertips built into the phone right now. The color correcting is better. You're able to manipulate your footage and your photos to the extent where you don't necessarily have to reach for a laptop. So if you're on the go, on the fly, trying to edit something, whether it's for stories, reels, anything like that, you're able to do that all from your phone at this point. Doing a camera review, it's just kind of, people can really get nitpicky at it. It can get really nitty gritty, pixel peeping, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really want to do that for this particular review about this camera. I wanted to come at it in the context of like, if you are looking for a dedicated camera. If you're looking for a way to minimize what you're carrying around, not have to carry around a big camera with you, you can really get away with just using your phone. It is kind of interesting now that there's so many different creative opportunities for creators professionally to use a phone. There's content creators even for weddings at this point. You get your photographer, videographer, now you got a content creator. You can actually make a living as a content creator. So I think it's important to have the right tools and know the different kind of things that you can use to get the job done. If you found that this video was helpful to you, please let me know down in the comments with what your favorite features are that you use on a regular basis to create your content. Links in the description for TexTale. I love the clothes. It's been part of my everyday wear at this point. Love the shorts, love the hoodie. I need to get a different color shirt. I need the black one. If you want to pick up any of the items that I've referred to, I'll have that link down below in the video description. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments too. And until then, I'll catch you next video. Thanks for watching.